Thank you very much for sticking around. I appreciate it. I will go ahead and introduce yourself and give us 2 minutes of your time, please.
My name is Mike Zenchuk. I'm a longtime resident of Holly Springs, a little over 7.5 years. Here with my lovely wife, Renee, this evening, my mother, and my 3 children, Trace, Matthew, and Lily and Grace. So I appreciate them supporting me. As I said, I have been a longtime resident of Holly Springs. I've committed myself to the city since we moved there 7.5 years ago. I've served as the chairman of the Holly Springs Centennial Committee. I've been on the Historic Commission. I was the chairman of the Business and Professional Association. And I've just been a volunteer whenever they've called and asked. I'm here for the city. Right now I'm serving as the vice chairman of the Holly Springs Planning and Zoning Commission, and I enjoy that role. I enjoy service. I don't do it for myself. I have no need to do it for myself, trust me. Coaching Little League Baseball and work and a family, it keeps me busy enough along with the activities that I do at church. But it's the calling that I have, and I've never complained about doing it, and I look forward to serving the next term as the Holly Springs City Councilman.
Thank you very much, sir.
I'm Kevin Bailey, and I kind of feel the same way as Zenchuk does. I've lived here for 7 years. I moved up from East Cobb, and I lived there all of my life. Sorry to say that, but I learned a lot down there in East Cobb. They actually learned how to manage property taxes, traffic, public safety, etc. Holly Springs needs that experience. If you actually raise the property taxes, the millage rate, you don't need to cut any services. You just need to keep it the way it is. I know that sounds awkward, but that's true. The other thing is, I would also like to see the county and city keep on the same pace to keep up with the public safety, fire, and police. That's one thing that actually needs to be maintained. I actually want to see growth come back to the city. When I say growth, I don't mean more people, I mean more jobs. Everybody's talked about jobs. The thing about the jobs is if you bring jobs, it actually helps to raise the revenue, which actually offsets the balance of the budgets, which means no more shortfalls. As far as traffic goes, we all know basically how 575 is. If you don't want the T-splossed, bring jobs back here. That's my views. And as far as the social and nightlife, which we've heard about, that's been my saying for the past couple of months. I've seen Woodstock. I moved up from East Cobb to Woodstock, and I saw what they've done, and I would like to bring that to Holly Springs. There's nothing to do here. I drive down to Kennesaw to go see a movie and eat. That's not cool. I want to stay up here. Thank you.
Mr. Bailey, the first question comes to you. The City Council over the last few years has been mulling the possibility of taking over fire protection from Cherokee County Fire and Emergency Services. If elected, would you support such a measure? Why or why not?
That's a tough call. I do have a brother-in-law that is a firefighter. I feel that the firefighters need our support and anything that they get, but at this prior condition, as far as the economy goes, it's not feasible to maintain a city fire department. The budget constraints, as far as maintaining the equipment goes, the salaries, it's just not there. It's just cost way too much, and I hate to say that, but unfortunately, if this comes about to where there's more of an economic turnaround, then I would like to see it. And I also talked to some firefighters, and they agree that that's a plus that happens, but right now it's not a good call.
Mr. Zenchuk?
If you look at your current tax bill that came out from the city of Holly Springs a couple weeks ago, actually last week, over a third of the revenue that's going to the city is funneled right back out to the county for fire and rescue. While we probably are not in a position right now to support our own fire station, we have to get on page with the county and start exploring that. That's been a very divisive issue between the city and the county. Anytime you talk about taking revenue away from a governing authority, things get ugly, and that's exactly what will happen. The county will lose revenue from the city of Holly Springs when we take over that division. does have to be explored. Currently, there's a plot of land in the city of Holly Springs on the 140 side of Harmony that's designated for a fire station. It hasn't been built on yet. We have to get a handle on this piece. So I would support the measure of taking over the fire department as long as the revenues allow us to do so.
Thank you. The next question goes to you. What do you think should be done to try to revitalize downtown, and what should the city do to attract more businesses?
That question is always, at the forefront of any election. I've heard multiple candidates this evening say what they would do to market their cities and how they bring more business. Quite frankly, as a councilman, it's not my job to attract business. It's to put the city in a position to become attractive for businesses who want to relocate. It's to put the city in a position where residents want to build houses. It's where we put residents in the position where they want to come and buy houses in our city. That's what's going to attract commerce. Stores are not going to relocate if there's not a population base to support it, bottom line. You've got to start with an infrastructure of people. You've got to start with infrastructure as a whole. You've got to make sure that you've got a livable space, decent roads, sidewalks. Unfortunately, the current city council decided that it was more important to take the last piece of SPLOST money that came to us and build a bridge. That bridge will be a great attraction to the city of Holly Springs in the future, but it's not doing anything right now to allow us to build on the infrastructure needs that we have. So, as a Holly Springs city councilman, I'll make sure that the people that manage the city on a day-to-day basis understand what the direction of the city is, what our understanding from the citizens, because it's not up to me, it's up to the people who vote for me. It's their direction that we're going after. So I'll make sure that message is loud and clear.
Thank you.
Mr. Bailey?
Could you repeat the question again? I was confused by the answer.
What do you think should be done to try to revitalize downtown, and what should the city do to attract more businesses?
Okay. As far as revitalizing downtown, I would honestly, I do believe that it is up to the city council to work with the city planning commission on different aspects, and I do like what Woodstock has done. They have brought nightlife and concerts to their area. I do know a couple of people there, and they've given me some ideas on how they've done it. It is with minimum city council help, which is also true. As far as businesses, when you have a business that wants to come to the area, it looks at three things: traffic, population, school, fourth, entertainment for the kids, and family. If you do not have that, you don't have businesses. But on the other side, a business will bring growth and revenue, which will help that. I know that sounds a circle. That's just good.
Can I follow up on that question, please?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll give each.
Sure. On the Planning and Zoning Commission, one of the things that happens is a developer comes to you as a governing board to ask you if it would be appropriate to locate their business within the city. We've had multiple businesses that we have approved, both for entertainment purposes, for commerce purposes, and for just general commercial uses over the last 3 years. We've approved most of those measures. The problem is there's no revenue for them to be able to develop the property. They can't get loans from banks to be able to build their business. They can't get the property itself. So the city of Holly Springs has been doing a decent job of attracting. The problem goes back to the economy as a whole. So, I mean, that's what we have to get our hands around, is how do we improve the economy within the city? And once again, it goes to bringing new residents to the city to make them want to develop commercial interests.
Thank you, sir. That was 1 minute. If you'd like to have a minute on it, I'll give you that.
I'll say this much about jobs. When I came and was thinking about living in Woodstock, Holly Springs area, Cherokee County, they lost several companies, etc. Yes, it is true about the zoning commission working with businesses to bring jobs here. True about the zoning and also the DDA. Now, I will say this: the council people should work with the DDA as far as bringing million jobs. Yes, I do understand about the zoning laws and every other compliance, and that is true. But gee, you just got to think out the box and make it happen.
Mr. Bailey, there's been a push for a multi-purpose community center and enhancements to the city's trail system and parks. Do you believe there is adequate recreational opportunities in Holly Springs? And if not, what do you think is the best way to change that?
As an avid mountain biker and somebody who also has dogs, sorry, no, I do not have kids, so sorry about that one. I do believe that a person does need parks and recreation to do on Fridays and Saturdays. And as a coach, I believe that you should know that as far as fields and parks go, you just don't have them. So I believe that's true.
Currently, the city has one baseball field that's used by the Holly Springs Express baseball team. It's used every weekend, every weekend of the year. It's a great facility. The city put a lot of revenue into that a couple of years ago to revitalize the park. It's a great attraction. It brings multiple baseball tournaments every month to the city, so it's a good spot to be. A lot of people don't know it's there, but it is there. We have Barrett Park, which unfortunately a few weeks ago I took my family, my kids to play some basketball and throw the ball and have the dog chase it, and it was in shambles. The mulch was destroyed. The grass was high. There were no flowers around. There was trash everywhere. I made a call to the city that next week, and it was fixed within a week. So the city does have an interest. Do we need more? Yes. We need more sidewalks. We need more green space. We need it outside of the communities that we already have. It's great that some of our neighborhoods have these facilities internally. When we start to internalize, we forget about everything else, and that's when we have issues. So I do support additional space. I will work with the city and the county to make sure that we afford ourselves the ability to relocate parks and recreation dollars to build new facilities, bottom line.
Mr. Zenchuk, what do you believe are the most pressing or challenging issues facing Holly Springs, and what would you do to address them?
Well, bottom line is a lack of revenue. I mean, you can say that about any city within the state of Georgia right now. The revenue sources are just not there. So where are the city councils going to go to? They're going to go to the homeowners. They're going to go to the people that actually pay the taxes. You can talk about your SPLOST, which is an equitable distribution, I guess. But as a homeowner, I'm paying the bill just like every other homeowner is in this room tonight. So we've got to find a way to drive additional revenue for our city and not put it on the backs of the homeowners. That's pressing issue number one. I'll go back to the fire and rescue piece. We have to develop a solution for that as well. We have to make sure that we have a handle on that that money that we are paying right now out of our tax dollars is not funneled back to the county and unaccounted for. And we need more transparency within our city government as a whole. For too long, we've had too many closed-door meetings. We've had governed by the same people. Yes, I do support term limits. I heard that come up early. You'll never see Mike Zenchuk run for more than 2 sessions of council, bottom line. So we need transparency within our government. And as a candidate and as a councilman, my pledge to the citizens is that every vote that's taken will be posted on my website. Every vote that every other member of the committee takes as well will be on the website. You're going to know exactly where I stand at all times, and I'll keep you informed, bottom line. Thank you.